Monster Hunter Sunbreak will not fix Rise, and that's because Rise isn't broken. Look, Rise is performing exactly as we expected it to. It's a quasi-remake of Portable Third with the gameplay overhaul changes of World, while mixing up the combat with skills akin to Generations. This is what we all expected from the get-go, from what we were first advertised. This is a game made by the Portable team after all, so then why am I unhappy? Why are there other people unhappy about this game? Isn't this what we wanted? Well, the core of my concerns for Rise date back to when I first played the demo and realized it was going to be a very hollow experience, a hollow Monster Hunter experience. Rise speaks very loudly, but it isn't preaching anything worthwhile. Please do not trivialize Monster Hunter. It isn't just about hunting monsters, despite what the title might imply. It's actually a deeply spiritual experience about understanding nature and the position humanity has in it. At least it used to be. There's an achievement in Monster Hunter Rise for cooking well-done steaks. After 200 hours, you'd think I would have gained that achievement in regular gameplay. Nope. I had actually never used the barbecue. I was never required to use it. I gained the achievement by cooking the steaks all at once on an expedition. The hunting and the survival simulation as an achievement. But it's optional. You don't have to do it. When in the older games you would. On top of that, the game's narrative is just about as half-baked as World's narrative was. So to me, Rise is like the most trivial Monster Hunter has ever been. Aside from that, I also discussed that the difficulty of Rise is relatively easier than other titles because the monsters have never received a damage buff, and that's been proven through research. I also discussed that the title has less quests than Portable Third and Portable Second, its predecessors, also proven through my research. Finally, I discussed that when those 2 points are in combination with the game allowing the player to move faster and more reliably, it will ultimately make the experience easier. For the first time in the series, the monsters cannot keep up with the average player. This is why there were so many players that found themselves just flying through the game's content faster than any other title in the series. The developers said that they wanted players to have the opportunity to try new weapons and experiment with the new systems that they implemented. Monster Hunter Rise is meant to be played as we did, because the grind is intended to be easier. So, you finish the game, and there's no endgame loop. The endgame loop has been discussed to death, but I wanted to throw my 2 cents in about why there is no endgame loop. There's also no endgame loop in Portable Third. And that's because the game was much harder. The player will struggle more and take longer to get through the content. The mid-tier monsters got subspecies in high rank, which offered new challenges. It took more quests and more time to grind for new equipment. And equipment and weapon abilities were much more grounded. It was more difficult to gain supplies for the hunt. Furthermore, there was no dedicated online servers. The player had to physically meet up with friends or arrange to play in private lobbies through ad hoc. Portable Third never intended to have an end game because it never needed one. I believe Monster Hunter Rise also never intended to have an end game. I don't think the developers expected the Western player base to be vocally upset when they unsuspectingly blasted through their very easy game. Did they expect everyone to build every weapon and every piece of armor? What would incentivize us to do that? Did they expect everyone to just become speedrunners and farm gold crowns and try to improve our times? What would incentivize any of us to do that? If you are a player that doesn't play online and you don't have any friends to play with, I don't think it's wrong to just stop playing after you've cleared every quest. There are players who actually want a thoughtful experience beyond just killing the same monster over and over again. Oh, maybe a good narrative. Maybe like a deeper experience that's more complex than just selecting quests and fight monster. So, can Sunbreak fix Rise? No, it can't. And that's because Rise isn't broken. There's nothing to be fixed. It's intended to be easy, fast, and it's intended to be without a quote-unquote endgame. I do not believe it'll actually change anything or provide that fix that some of you are hoping for. We have to realize that in Capcom's mind too, before they would view these G-rank expansions as add-on, as bonus. So they would intend the main game to be its own release and its own game. Now these bonuses, they're scheduled. They're gonna be for every single game, and they always feel like a band-aid solution. So here's what Sunbreak might do to quote-unquote fix the game. They might make every monster do significantly more damage, be more aggressive, and do more AoE attacks, which is most likely going to happen, but it's not desirable for me. They also might severely nerf armor skills and the wire bug actions. They also might add something like the Clutch Claw to rebalance gameplay. That's not desirable for a lot of people, those that actually enjoy the gameplay as it is. They also potentially could add an RNG-based endgame loop that has people chasing RNG for hundreds of hours. I guess that would be helpful, because at least that would give us more to do after we blast through the game. But I kind of think that they won't, because I think the Portable team doesn't believe in using RNG chase endgame loop mechanics, because, you know, I actually agree with that. I don't think you need them, you just need a difficult game. Okay, well now here's what I want Sunbreak to do, even though I know they will not do any of this. I want them to add subspecies, because then that would make mid-tier monsters difficult again, and it would also bulk up the content. I want them to incentivize players to spend more time on expeditions, and not in the quest loop. I want them to make it so that you can gain talismans through quests again. I want them to actually write a good narrative. I want them to slow the game down. And honestly, I want them to just remove the wire bug. So, in other words, I'm asking for a different game altogether, and that's not going to happen. I need to wait for Monster Hunter 6. It's almost as if Monster Hunter Rise is just fundamentally wrong at the core. It's almost as if making the hunter overpowered completely spoils the experience and only leads to these band-aid solutions. It's almost as if Monster Hunter has become so trivialized and easy that the only thing we can think of are these RNG chases at the end of the game. Oh well, I guess there's nothing I can do about it. There's no point worrying about things I can't do anything to fix. So despite all of this, I can still enjoy the mindless slaughter of animals because it's still more fun, for me, compared to basically every other game franchise. There's a reason why I consider Monster Hunter my favorite game. Like, there's still also the social aspect of playing with friends, and I still like the monsters, and I do like the fights, even if they are hollow. So let's just see what they add in the coming months. Honestly, if they just add Kieran, then I'll stop complaining. Like, mark my words, if they add Kieran, I will never complain about Monster Hunter Rise ever again. Like, it's my one wish. Just add Kieran. Why wasn't Kieran in the game? I don't know. I don't know. All I do is complain and nitpick and be mad. All I do is get mad. I like what they did with the Shogun Centaur. They brought it back, but I think that the intention here is the Western yokai that they're using for it is maybe the Grim Reaper, because it has like the skull head of the monster, and then it has the scythe, its claws. It's like the Grim Reaper scythe. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. I am stupid. Bye.